Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. In today's video we have a story titled My Ex, female 22, cheated on me, male 21, with my childhood best friend, male 21. God damn. What is up with all the best friend stories today that I'm reading? Before we get into the video, I just wanted to remind you once again of the Patreon channel. The link is in the description if you want to check it out. I get to read more stories over there, get to say things I can't say on YouTube, basically swear. So if that sounds interesting, the link is in the description. You can check it out if you'd like. With that being said, we'll get straight into this video. So here's my story about how I lost the love of my life, in brackets C, so I'm guessing that's the code name will go for the love of the life, and my best friend Jay, all in one day. So he lost both? Good. Okay, so C's obviously the ex-girlfriend, wife. Was it a girlfriend or wife? Just as ex. And the childhood best friend goes by Jay. So hopefully you remember this. So it all started when I met C in grade 5 and I had a crush on her for years. Never gaining the talk to her, or I'm guessing it's never game enough to talk to her or anything, as I was just figuring out these feelings. Plus, I knew I was an introvert from the beginning, barely having any real friends besides a small friend group of 4. One of them being my best friend, Jay. We did everything a kid could do together. Go camping, something I didn't like but was fun with him, play video games, board games, sleepovers, all those things, and thought of him as a brother. Damn. It was he who had the courage to add her to a friend group. We grew closer as we got older. It was only in grade 9 that me and C were starting to get closer as friends. During high school, we were both in grade 10. I finally gained the courage to ask C out, and to my surprise and happiness, she said yes. Just to know how this is going to end, I can't even be like, oh, it's so nice and cute. Because in the end, she's going to be a cheater. Our first date was amazing, but I took her out to my favourite restaurant, which wasn't really expensive, but did have a big bill. Then we started skating, as she always loved that, and that was one of the best memories I've ever had. Damn. Over the next 4 years, we had the best relationship, or at least what I thought was the best. It was only during year 3 of our relationship that C wanted to go the next level, and so did I, but I was just so nervous about it that I never realised what was happening between my girlfriend and my best friend until it was too late. I was also stressed from the SATs that I didn't have enough time to spend with her either. It all came to a screeching halt when I not only passed my SATs, my nerves about having intercourse went away with the letter, and I walked to her apartment to tell her the great news. I entered the elevator to go to her floor and walked to her door when I noticed it was open slightly. Ain't no way, this is a movie, come on. And so in panic, I opened the door myself, not thinking straight and thinking she was in trouble, but found nothing. I walked around the apartment, but eventually I noticed a trail of clothes leading to her bedroom. Why is there so many movie is this real? I don't know, but we're gonna keep reading because it's a story from Reddit. If those weren't obvious, the moans and screams of pleasure were. That was until I noticed a jacket on the ground, this very same one I gave Jay on his 18th birthday. I saw only red when I thought that, and barged into her room, where they were both shocked at my interruption. But C soon screamed in terror as I pulled Jay off her and started beating him. Damn! I was never a violent person growing up, but this rage and betrayal turned me into something I hope I could never be again. It's been 2 weeks since I caught J and C together, and I have been ignoring every message they sent me, every call and voicemail they made, and even ignored their family's attempt to getting me to speak to them. I don't know why they would try and let him live. I couldn't stand to be in the same room with them anymore. Every time I think of them, I just remember that day when I caught them. Hope you guys have any advice about what I should do next, because I don't. My advice is leave. There is an update, so I'm just going to get straight into the update before I give opinions. So here's my update on the situation. Sorry this took a bit, but I decided to just look at the future for myself now after everything that's happened. So, on to the update. As many of you pointed out, I had to get to the truth about our breakup before the two of them vilify me. Oh, villainify. I guess like villain, make him the villain. To my and possibly your surprise, they didn't say anything about me, but they also didn't out themselves. The two of them kept quiet about the whole thing, and I couldn't stand that, watching as if nothing happened between the three of us. So I contacted as many of our mutual friends as I could to tell them. Some believed me, others thought I was in the wrong, and a few were indifferent, but all looked at JNC differently after that day, as I had many details of what they did, while those pieces of sugar honey iced tea effed. No, not someone not believing him. Like, why would he randomly say that? Like, that's... Anyways, we'll keep reading. After I outed the two of them, I realized I needed to get away from the city. I lived here my whole life, but I had to get away. I just couldn't stand being close to C and J anymore. I was simply getting boxes of my stuff ready to move when I could, and I hear a knock at the door, and wouldn't you know, C was standing right outside. Her eyes just bloodshot, and looks like she hasn't slept in days. Girl. I barely opened it for her anyways, so I just rudely asked, "What are you doing here?" 'Cause I'm not about to be gracious towards her, and never will again. Obviously, valid. She asked to be let in to talk for a minute, and I decided to do so, but not to take her back, just to hear the excuses I know she'll come up with. I kind of like when they let them like get back and talk to them, because I like the information we get. Like, it's juiciness. It's kind of bad. I shouldn't. Anyways, she started to cry, asking for forgiveness, yada yada. And she wanted to explain why she did what she did. If she brings up that she didn't feel loved, or she felt like he didn't give her the time of day, I'm gonna get angry. I kept a straight face and didn't say a word while she was speaking. She told me how she felt neglected because of the lack of intercourse between us, which I guess is true. Yeah, but let's take it back. If you feel like that, tell him. You've been together for 3 years. 4 years, it says actually, but he's, how is he meant to know that you feel like this if you don't bring it up to him? Like, you can't even try and say that's an excuse, because there's no excuses to begin with. But that's the most silly excuse, unless he knows about this problem that you have. Don't try and use that. Like, what do you mean? She went on to say that Jay comforted her. Why does Jay know about this? Why does Jay know about this? Jay was waiting. He was standing there waiting. Because, come on. And slowly began to fall for him as the days went on, and one thing led to another, and I had caught them soon after they became physical. After she was done, I told her that if she fell for Jay, all she had to tell me was that she wanted to break up. Literally. And I would have accepted them getting together afterwards, but they didn't do so. Instead, I saw my first love in bed with my best friend. Even them falling in love while being in a relationship with you is kind of, come on. Like, I know people fall in love with the most random people sometimes, but it's just the situation. Why are you getting close enough to somebody that's not your boyfriend in that sense? Make that make sense. Come on. I told her I was moving away after this, that I couldn't stand being in the city anymore with C and J or their families. But I don't tell her where, because I don't want her to follow me. Yep, okay. I saw the tears flowing even faster as she heard that. I guess she thought that we could reconcile after what happened. Well, sorry, C, but I've got other plans then to take you back. After that, I just held onto her hand. She gained a hopeful look in her eyes and led her to the door before pushing her out. Okay, I hope you didn't fully push her out. We don't have to get physical. But yeah, get her out. She turned towards me, pure sadness in her eyes. I'll never love you again. Go back to Jay. I'm sure he'll be happy to accept you fully. After all, he already did so. I slammed the door in her face and heard her crying outside, but didn't care and just continued to relax and pack my stuff. As for Jay, well, never bothered with him again. Didn't speak to him, didn't respond to any of his messages, nothing. I'm done with them and nothing will change that. So that's my update. Nothing too big, but hey, don't really care right now to make this my whole life story. So goodbye and have a nice day. Short but simple. We have no comments for that one today. But damn. I love when they know their self-worth and they just be like, I was about to flip off the camera. I'm sure I could probably do that, but I'm very scared because YouTube's guidelines can be very, how you going, very strict. I'm happy he knows his self-worth. I'm happy he went and he left and he knew. And the fact that she admitted that she fell in love with this guy and still wants to get back with him. In what world? You just said you fell for his best friend. And even though he said, I've already mentioned this before when it was said in the story, but he said he would have been fine if you had broken up with me when you fell in love with him and got with him. I wouldn't be fine with that. I'm sorry. I would not be fine with that, just mainly because they fell in love while you were in a relationship. And I think that is still some kind of a cheating vibe. You know, it might not be fully cheating, but you got an emotional affair, I guess, like an emotional relationship with this man if you fell in love with him, kind of thing. But yeah, that's what I think. Hopefully I'm not the only one thinking that, but I don't know, I would be quite upset if my friend fell in love with my boyfriend and then my boyfriend broke up with me and suddenly is straight in a relationship with other people. Yeah, I don't know, that's a bit weird to me. There's not much to say. I don't know, in what world would you think it's okay to even act as an excuse is being neglected when you don't bring that up into a relationship to begin with? If you feel that way, you should tell your boyfriend, and if that doesn't go the right way, leave. There's no reason. That's not a good enough reason. There's no good enough reason to be cheating to begin with. And yeah, he's not your friend. He's not your best friend. Just let's take it back. He knew that she was your crush since what? Grade 5. He was your wingman to get with her. And he was like, okay, was okay with sleeping with her. I don't care if one thing led to another. That's a horrible friend. And you've been friends with him for longer? Yeah, he was never your friend. Like, come on. Who can do that to your friend if he's your best friend? Oh, I hope that made sense. Yeah, let me know what you thought about this story in the comments down below. It was quite like a movie, like a book. Doesn't sound heaps realistic, but where do the book ideas come from? Real life events normally, and this stuff can happen, even if it sounds fake. But yeah, like I said, let me know what you thought about it in the comments. Advice, what would you do? I don't know. Let me know. And yeah, thank you so much for watching. Don't forget about the Patreon channel. The link is in the description if you want to check it out. Head down there. Don't forget to subscribe and to like, and I'll see you all in another video. Bye!